at books and that, you know.
Hello, well, it's that time again. It's 9 o'clock. It's the Love, Light and Laughter show with me, Dave Witchy Woo Woo. We've got Michael in the house, Spear Frozen. I do believe Chris Boyce might be popping in. We've got Gorgeous Jason as the man that hides behind that mystery thing all the time. Never gets his face out. He's got a face for radio, Jason has, but we still love him. And nonetheless,
a face only a mother can love, Dave.
That's it. A face only a mother can love, but she wants to slap.
And many mothers have.
That's it. Well, when I come into the world, when I was born, they didn't slap me. They slapped my mother. So I was lucky. I got away with it. So yeah, we've got a lot going on, Mike. It's I've just got a gin and tonic, Michael. To you tonight. God bless you.
Well, I've got gin and tonic. Do you know my darling boy?
Beers at the fridge. What you like? You to pair of panties.
Can I just, Jason? Can I just say this? It was my birthday last week, and my boy Jason, my boy Dave, bought me a lovely bottle of gin.
Yeah.
He said to me he wanted me for my own well-being. I think he wants to take his wicked way with me. He does. He wants to get me drunk.
Not again,
Mike. And have serious carnal knowledge of my body.
What it was, I thought I'd get Mike something for his birthday that he'd chuckle about, because he took me to London a few months ago and we had a couple of stiff gin and tonics and they were doubles and whatever, and my legs went, and I thought, yeah, all right, okay, we like a nice bottle of gin, Mike, don't we? Nice, can't beat a nice little bottle of. I've got my old Fever Tree out. Fever Tree.
Yeah, oh, hang on. Well, I've got. Look, I've got Fever Tree.
Oh, I'm telling you, we're living the dream, aren't we?
We are, absolutely. I tell you what, we're living the dream. It's because we're living in make-believe land. Because if you take, David Lammy, this man, this is a man who's supposed to represent his constituents, but he never passed his history exam because he's suggesting that I was. I listened to Andrew Neil, and when David Lammy said, well, Winston Churchill took the place of Neville Chamberlain before the Second World War. He never took over to 1940, right? And then Anthony Eden was sacked during Suez. No, he wasn't. No, he didn't. Wasn't sacked at all. He retired sick after, and Suez brought it on, but he wasn't sacked. He said that Asquith was. It's a fucking David Lammy. This black guy from Tottenham is a complete tosser.
So, Mike, if you really go into the whole politics thing, right, what do you make of this whole Rwanda thing?
I think I've got to tell you. I mean, what really annoys me is they show you pictures of all these people living in northern France, and they're living in dirt huts. They're living in squalor. Then they get to this country and they sit there and they've got a fucking audacity to say to us, "I'm not prepared to live in a 3 or 4 star hotel." when they're getting fed, they're getting money, they're getting a phone, they're getting looked after like you wouldn't believe. As far as I'm concerned, I'd stick them back to fucking Rwanda, put them back in grass huts and say,
apparently, Mike, apparently outside Downing Street, all the lefties are protesting like crazy.
Yeah,
How awful it is.
That's
People
right.
are being sent to Rwanda, you know.
Well, this is what napalm's for. You see, napalm is for getting rid of unwanted diseases. It burns it all out and gets rid of it. I think lefties are a pain in the arse that we could do without, because they're not. I mean, it's like these people go around like sitting in front of Lloyd's, putting Lloyd's to a close, bringing oil refineries to a close, and the police have done nothing. But for one thing, for the first time, the police have started doing something. You know, not just going around Dave's house, invading his property, and saying, "You're out of order, my son. I'm fucking nicking you." And they go, "What for?" And they don't know why. They just don't like him. So, but that's basically what the police have been doing. But now they're starting to act like policemen in that respect. Most of the time, as far as I'm concerned, they're faceless, like Spearthrower. I mean, we don't know who Spearthrower is. We don't know what he really looks like. I think basically he's probably
an alien.
That film Albert R.N. You know, Albert R.N. was a film made about the German prisoners of war in Germany, and they invented this guy, this puppet, right? And they put this, and they used to walk him up and down, and while they escaped one at a time, the Germans, being stupid dummkopf, they were all sort of doing their thing, like and assuming. So I think that Spearthrower is an Albert R.N. So Spearthrower, I think you're an Albert R.N.
So Dave, should we do a little roll call of the people that are watching on YouTube? And you've also got a few in the website chat room watching as well.
Happy days. We'll give them a little shout in a minute. I just want to play this clip, right? Because even the Toffs are starting to get this, right? So just check this out, right?
Okay, remember to mute your mic when you play this.
Time in the UK because you're a resident here,
100%,
or 100%, but be a non-doc. Yeah. No wonder people are pissed off.
I know, quite. We should. Austria.
Under both governments, under the last one and this one.
Quite.
I mean, it's extraordinary, frankly.
Absolutely.
And you wonder why people want. You wonder why people.
Policy issue.
Yeah, I know it's a policy issue. There's nothing to do with you. You're just the bloke in charge. I realise that. But I mean, in all honesty, you're surprised that people think there's one set of rules for the rich people and one set of rules for someone else, when you've just told us that that's exactly what there is. No wonder people are pissed off.
What a dude, eh? What a dude.
Got that right, isn't he?
Yeah.
Wow, mucho.
I've some truth bombs there.
Yeah, some truth bombs there. So even the Champagne Charlies, the one that are sitting up in the top of the archelances, they're starting to feel it. They know what's going on. I mean, there was a guy this week in Coventry. He's done a right decent thing. He's gone into a fuel station, and I think he was just testing the waters to start with. But he said to the guy behind the counter, "Look, I've put 10 litres in. I'm giving you £10. That's it. I'm not paying these ridiculous prices. We're not being mugged off by Sunak and Johnson. No way. This cabal's got to stop." And it's brilliant. It's going around TikTok. It's spiraling around the internet. And I'm hoping that many other people will follow suit, because politicians only listen when you lean on them. It's like when Robert White went into that court case the other week. The reason why the High Court sheriff, the Sheriff of Kent, was there and the judge done a U-turn in how he was approaching this case was because the people were there to see what was going on, and they hate scrutiny. They hate the people being there, seeing what they're getting up to. Now, many, many years ago, our public galleries, or galleries in a court, I don't like the word public, I detest it, but they were big and they were always rammed to the rafters, full of people that were checking this out, checking that out, and holding the judges and the servants to do their job. But now, I mean, you can go to a Crown Court case and there might only be one or two people that are sat in there listening and watching what goes up. So no wonder they get away with murder. It's a closed shop. The only way we hold them accountable is by doing what we're doing. We go out and we scrutinise these people. So when we're telling them no, we're not paying £1.75 to £2 a litre. We're going to pay a quid. That's it. We can. It's like the poll tax riot. Look what happened with the poll tax riots. It was only because people turned out and said we're not having it, it all stopped. All right, it later turned into council tax, and that hopefully, I think council tax is coming under so much scrutiny as well now. Wages are going up about 3, 4, 5%. Everything else has gone up about 55 to 60 to 70%. So it is literally a ticking time bomb. It's a matter of time before people have got to make some really tough decisions, I think. Really tough decisions.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, Dave, people, ever since I'm 71 now, ever since I know, darling, I know, I'm wonderful. But anyway, ever since I was a little boy, I mean, when I was a kid, government, I've said this before, but big government never played a part in everyday life. Everyday life was run by the council, Deptford Borough Council. You know, the post office run the letters, it run everything. It run the telephones, it ran everything. It was all the post office. And the water was on the rates. Electricity was the CGB, or it was like London Electricity then. The gas was British Gas or whatever it was, and it was town gas, and you could smell it, you know. So all of a sudden, along comes progress, and rightly to some degree, just like with the trains, we started breaking it up because government cannot afford the unions. They cannot afford it. That's what destroyed the docks. Jack Dash in the 50s was a rank communist who ran the dockers in all the London docks, and what they did was they priced themselves out of work. And when containerization came in, a place called Chobham Farm, which was in the early 70s, they tried everything. The dockers lined up and said, "This is outrageous. You're putting stevedores out of work." They didn't put out. It was progress, and they were plough work by people like Jack Dash. And they came along and did this. And what's happening now is with everything that's going on, like you're talking about, like this all this money and everything else, it's progress. And progress is multi-headed. Some people would say it's great. This is fabulous. You know, this is how we are. I mean, we've got supersonic missiles now that can kill us in seconds. That's brilliant. And we've got better bombs that can vaporize us just like that. Or we got medicines that can do the most amazing things. Or we can have the medicines like A1000. It was saying, claim about the virus, the COVID virus does this, the coronavirus does that. You know, we don't know what it's going to do because we're going to be 5-10 years down the line before. Yeah. So basically, what we have here is an opportunity while we're sitting there talking, and all these people watching. I don't know how many people there are. All these people watching to voice what they think about how progress has impinged on their lives, has made their lives, has it made it better or worse? Now, I would argue it's 50-50 because I don't think we need a nationalised railway, but we need a railway that works. I don't think we need the National Health Service. I think the National Health Service has got to go because, I mean, you poor Alan, his wife, that, you know, is a victim of that. So the National Health Service has just had billions and billions of pounds put in it, and there's still people sitting in ambulances waiting for 12 and 15 hours for a bed. How has that 50 billion quid extra put in made a difference? It hasn't. Money is not the answer. It's the whole fucking system that's got to come down. Yeah. Like the whole system of government's got to come down. We've got to get rid of this first past the post system, and we've got to get a system where everybody in politics has done something, not a fucking some prat that's come out of universities. I want to be an MP. Let's get something like it used to be when I was a kid, where they had a profession. They were that sort of person. They knew about the law. They were accountants. They were judges. They were businessmen. They knew what they were doing. These fucking arseholes who are in the MPs now they haven't ever lifted a pencil to get paid. All they've done is come out of university and become an MP. Now, what good is that to us? I'm a businessman. Dave's a businessman. I don't know what Spear Chucker is, but people watch this are business people, entrepreneurs. They know more about running the country, right, than the majority of people in the House of Commons. They're not the sort of people we want running the country. What we want are people who have the opportunity to run the country the way it should be run, and that's for the people, not for the fucking few, not for the rich, for everybody. And it's not about just paying taxes. Everybody's got to pay taxes. That's unfortunate. That's the way it all works. But the taxes should be paid the way and divided the way that's in need. And at the moment, the need is this, that the people who need it most are not getting it.
Amen.
It's not about taxing the rich because they're taxed enough. It's the way money is spent in this country, and it's spent wrongly. The majority of people who sit watching programs like this have got a better idea how to spend the money than the fucking Chancellor of the Exchequer, who thinks it's great to charge people who inherit a house who've got nothing. And all of a sudden their parents who bought a house in 1945 after the Second World War have died. And they live in a house now worth £3 million. Now, is it their fault? They've got to sell that house now, which is their inheritance, to pay the fucking inheritance. That cannot be right. And
It's
so
not.
this country now has to get to a consensus that it understands that we cannot afford to have an NHS the way it is. We cannot have an armed forces which is undermanned, and we cannot afford to have people running our country who don't understand how to run a business, because the United Kingdom is a business. It's not a fucking charity. And sending people to Uganda or Rwanda, wherever you want to send them, doesn't make any fucking difference. You make it. I don't care how many people come to this country, as long as they bring something. But they're not bringing anything. What they're bringing is disease. And we know that because there's more diseases like TB, measles, all the stuff that we've got rid of years ago are back in this country because we've allowed people to come in without checks. And that's what this country is missing. It's missing. It's got people in power. It's got people around them listening to these fucking people, these small-minded left-wingers who say, oh, we've got to look after these poor people across the... They pay thousands to get across the channel. 15, 20 grand to get to where they are. Where they get the money from? Why is it that when they get here, they're allowed to keep their money? What about the money we spend on us taxpayers and the people who pay tax? Why is it that those people have to pay for people when they're sitting there with money stuffed up their arseholes and the diamonds and the watches? They come on with Rolex watches. They come with Armani suits. They've got diamonds, they've got rings and all that. Nothing's taken away from them. Everything that every person that comes to this country should be strip searched, and every orifice looked into, and everything should be taken away from them to pay for their stay here.
I think they should all be put into an house, and I think they should have a visit from a Marston's bailiff. How's about that?
Oh, now that...
I like the sound of that. Marston's, I'm here. I'm taking the car.
Yeah.
I'm taking the jewellery.
Yeah.
I'm taking the lot. Lovely.
He got in one. And you could do that with the NHS, couldn't you?
Yeah, send in Marston's. This seems the way out.
Can I just show you? Look, I've got this badge. I'm going to show it to you. See this badge? Can everybody see this? But can anybody read it?
Lovely. Look at that.
Okay, well, this badge says, hang on, perhaps I've got the wrong glasses on. It says, come the world against her. England yet shall stand.
Yeah.
And that's true, because we are England. We are the greatest nation in the world. We are. Nobody's ever fucked us over, but
No, they haven't.
except
No, they
us. We're the only people fucking us over.
Yeah.
We're a diluted race of people who have lost their moral fibre. They've lost the ability to say, no, I'm not putting up with this bullshit. We just lay down and say, we have a few protests. We walk up and down. We'll get up shown that we're embarrassed. But we don't turn around and turn around. You want to fucking hit me with a club? Get hold of that, you wanker. We don't do that anymore. That's what happened in the poll tax when the police were terrified, and they ran away from them.
I'm going to put this out. I'm going to put this out there on the public record now. And I said to you earlier, after the Bob White verdict of unlawful trespass by Kent Police, and there's also a story of a man that didn't give his consent, and he's got stripped naked in a police cell up north somewhere, and 3 constables have asphyxiated him round the neck and stripped him naked. I mean, these people are vile, fucking evil bastards, as far as I'm concerned. But I have emailed the Chief of Police of Kent, and I'm putting this out there on the public record this week, so everyone around the country knows what my intent was. And my intent was, I've said to him, unless he is proper from now on with proper lawful warrants, etc., if he sends any of his clowns to my place and they're unlawful, some of them might get hurt, and I don't want that. And I'm also going to be sending that off to the judges down in Maidstone Crown Court, letting them know that I've told Chief, because they can't keep getting away with this. They're mugging us off. They were never put in a position to mug us off. They were put in a position we trusted them. We trusted them to look after our equity and look after our rights, but they've abused us.
Dave, what did I say to you earlier when because I live around the corner, Dave, and we live in the same village, and I said to him, if you've got a problem, who do you call? Ghostbusters, because that's about all you've got. Ring the police. I'm being burgled. Well, we come around a couple of days. We'll give you a crime number. It's a crime number. My house is on fire. We'll get there as fast as we can. And they're probably about the best people to call. And ambulance it's going to be 12 hours, but I'm having a heart attack. We'll lay on the floor, keep warm, and we'll get there if we can. That's what you get. And that's what we're paying for, right? And we're paying that because our country's fucked. And it's not just it's finished. The country's done, and it has to be rebooted. It's got to take we the people have to take responsibility away from those who put in power. We have to take it back and say to people, look, you may not like the people that are leading us, but this is what you really want. We don't want Keir Starmer. We don't want Boris Johnson. We want people who understand what people actually want. But the trouble is, when you put people like that in power, they don't know how. They do not know how to run a business. Now, this is getting back to my previous comments about it. You want people who've run a business. What's the point in putting someone as Minister of Transport who can't drive like Barbara Castle was? Barbara Castle, she's the one that brought in the 70-mile limit, right? And she brought a fuel crisis, darling, and never took it away. The motorways were built when I was a kid by Ernie Marples, right? And Ernie Marples, good old Tory. What was his family business? Road builder. Of course, there was no conflict. No. It was just a matter of fact that Marples, the road builder, was really good at what they did, and Ernie Marples, being a road transport, awarded them the contracts. Well, it's just the way it was. But that's how it is. You want people in power who know what they're doing. There's no point in having like Javid Sukdik running. What does he know about being a doctor? He's a banker. He was in the city. What does he know about running a hospital? We need fucking Dr. Kildare. We need someone who can run a hospital. We know people who understand what it's like, who know what it's like to get hands inside a body and come out blood. We want and say, this is what we really need. We want people in an army. We don't want Ben Wallace. When's the last time he picked up a rifle or put a uniform on or drove a tank or went on manoeuvres, anything? Never. What we need is someone who's been in the army, who's done the job like Bob Stewart did. They're the people we want running. Many years ago, I had one of the biggest limousine companies, and I got to know many people who were running the business. And I met Eddie George. Eddie George was then the governor of the Bank of England. And I said to him, why is it that we've got a Chancellor Exchequer who doesn't know anything what you know? And I said, if you had the option, would you be Chancellor Exchequer? And he went, whoa, no, I wouldn't be. I said, why wouldn't you be Chancellor Exchequer? And he said, I wouldn't be Chancellor Exchequer because I wouldn't want to put myself up for auction, if you like, how well I'm doing. I would do the job and make sure that this country ran very well. And a lot of the people in the Bank of England at the time, really, they understand economics. Why have we got someone like Richie Sunak? Yes, he's been a banker, but what the fuck does he know about wants? He's a billionaire. What does he know about the people out there at the moment living in the fucking gutter? What does he know about what's it know like to be fucking hungry? He doesn't.
The point you're trying to make is if your politicians or the people that are running your country are subjected to the same conditions as the people, pretty much. And that's the big problem, isn't it? Anyway, listen, we've got Spearthrower in the room tonight. And one thing he's changed it. He can't get one in. He's changed his profile picture. Look, he looks a bit angry.
No, I think him and Jenny have had a really good afternoon.
Let's see what he has to say. Spearthrower, there's people chatting in the chat room about this film called Venom, about snake venom being in the jibber jabs, and I know that you're a man that does his research. What do you make of it all?
Well, Dr. Brian Ardis has come up with and done a lot of research and found that the thing that's making people ill could quite possibly be, and it's more likely to be, snake venom. More specifically, cobra venom. They've been messing with it for a long time. When you look at the research that he put forward on the Stu Peters show, it's quite a shocker, and it all really fits in to the symptoms that people get. The loss of taste and smell, the paralysis of the diaphragm, the reaction with bloods, the fact that smokers are least affected when if it's respiratory, they should be the worst, and that's because this venom uses the nicotine receptors to affect the diaphragm. And it also fits in why young children aren't as affected by alleged COVID, because they've got higher levels of melatonin in children, and that's another thing that affects the this venom.
Can I make a point here, if you don't mind? Can I just make a point here? A lot of venoms, snake venom, spider venom, has been used for a lot of good. A lot of these venoms have found lots of antidotes, not necessarily just the bite, but they've been used in medicines for years. The Romans did it. Everybody going back from history did it. The Greeks did it. The Romans, the Saxons. Everybody's used spider venom and venoms, all kinds of ways to treat stuff. I mean, the Romans even, just to give you another thing, used to use pus, that you get out of like a boil, and they would treat that on another and think it worked. This is the way it was. But if you go to Greece, and you'll find they had snake farms, and the Romans had snake farms, and they used a lot of the venoms in snakes in medicine. Now, I think where it starts to unwind is how the venom's used and in what the capacity. So it may be that yes, venom is good. I mean, there's nothing wrong using a natural remedy to make it right. But I mean, I don't know where Spirit Fry goes with this, but I mean, I have to say that while I think venom is probably true that in this instance it may not be good in this vaccine. And let's be honest, I have my third jab on Monday because I've got to go to Paris. The only fucking way I'm getting to Paris is having 3 jabs, and that really pissed me off. But we all also know that
no, they're not. No, they're not saying the venom's in the vaccine. They're suggesting it's in the water. That's what's making giving people the COVID symptoms.
What water?
The city water, yeah. Apparently.
The water that we drink on a daily basis.
Apparently, I mean, you'll have to watch the interview with Dr. Ardis.
Yeah,
I have put the link in. It's 48 minutes.
This has all come about from a documentary kind of thing.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, I like to be open-minded about things like this. We all know as kids when we're at school and you have how can I put it? You learn the way the world works in basic terms. You understand that it rains, you get evaporation, and it makes clouds, and it move on, and it rains, and then it dries up and makes the plants grow. Okay, now that's true. Now evaporation is the best form. It's the best form really of purifying the water, because until we had acid rain, which was brought on about by nuclear testing. Okay, which is something completely different. However, what we have right now is an overpopulation, and I don't think our infrastructure is capable of dealing with the amount of people using the water system. So it's got less time to purify as much as we might. And I mean, even in Kent, Dave, you know this. In Kent, they say do not drink water out the taps now. Put it through a purifier or boil it before you do that. And that's a fact. So you shouldn't allow yourself to be sucked in by necessarily like scaremongering, but you should take caution. And if you feel that being cautious is being cautious by, or thinking, oh my god, I'm drinking. I would never drink water out of tap. I never drank water out of tap anyway.
Jesus Jones makes an absolute bang on point here. Overpopulation is not true, it's management, and it's true.
Hang on, well, can I just make Jesus, you made a good point. However, let me take issue with that. It's not about overpopulation. What it is about is that we have like you take the health service. When the health service was set up in the 1940s, we had a population of about 45 million people, right? The health service in the last 50 years, say, 60 years, okay, has done what? 70 years. What's it actually done? It's expanded. It's not grown. It's not done any. It's not capable of dealing with the amount of people that it has to deal with, and the new technologies that they have are not keeping pace with the amount of diseases that we have. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this COVID problem. We wouldn't have those the problems we have with COVID if we had more time and the people who are able to sort this out rightly, not just scaremongering like the three fucking failures we had saying, oh my God, we need to be locked up. Well, okay, how is that? How is locking people up in their homes curing the problem? Stop spreading the disease. Does it fuck? Like wearing a mask, does it stop the spread? No, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. So basically, get back to the point. Overpopulation in this country is a problem, and the problem is caused stopped our health service growing with the technology it has, because it's only going sideways, not going up. It's only trying to bring in more and more people. We've got 70 million people plus in the country now. And they say we're only 64 million. We've got 70 million people plus using the health service. That's a fact. And it's only going sideways. We keep pumping more money into a broken system. We need to get rid of this fucking system, and we need to have a system that stops bureaucrats.
The suits have fucked it all. Anyway, we got Mo in. Mo, what we saying?
Yes, Dave. I come in to explain this about this cobra venom, what they're saying, yeah? Right. The remdesivir that they've been using out in America, yeah, is basically, that's cobra venom.
Is that the killing, the killer?
Yeah, that's the only drug that's issued now to be used in America, right? They're not allowed to use ivermectin, hydrocortisone, all these other drugs. They're not allowed to use, and also the other treatment that they was doing, right? It turns out that treatment is an anti-venom, right? So they ban that as well. But Pelosi and all the MPs seem to be having that treatment. They're allowed to have it, the Democrats, but no one else is. And the other thing is, it's in the vaccine. The proteins in the vaccine is made from Asian banded crepe and king cobra venom. Yeah, they've taken the proteins out of that, and then they've bonded it into your DNA, and your DNA now is producing like a cobra venom, the proteins in your blood system, and that's what's causing all the blood clots, all your organs to shut down. And if you're suffering with like diabetes, it goes to your pancreas. If you've got cancer, your cancer starts spreading, starts attacking all your cancer. If you've got liver problems, it'll attack your liver. If you've got kidney problems, it'll attack your kidneys. If you've got heart problems, it'll go to your heart, start attacking your heart.
Yeah, hang on a second. You're getting back to world depopulation. That's what you're getting back to, isn't it? What you're saying
This is what.
Hang on a second.
Mike, we was getting some feedback when Mo was speaking. I muted you because we was getting feedback, and I turned everyone's mic off, and it was you. I don't know if you got your speakers up.
Mine?
Yeah, it was. Mo was chatting, and I was getting the feedback. I don't know if anyone else was getting the feedback. Was anyone else getting the feedback?
Yeah, I was. Well.
So I muted everyone's mic, mine included, apart from Mo's, and it was yours. So I don't know if you got any speakers up somewhere.
No.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
I've got mine's as it was, sweetheart.
It seems. I think it's all right now. Anyway.
Basically,
yeah. So
it gets.
They've been putting it in the water as well. Apparently, people's been testing the water, and they've been coming up positive on the COVID tests on the drinking water. Yeah, and what they're saying as well. Do you remember the old cowboy films when you get bit by a rattlesnake and then they cut it and suck the venom out? Yeah,
that's bullshit.
Right. But what they say is if you do that, yeah, you lose your sense of smell for about a month to a year.
Wow.
Exactly the same as what is happening with the COVID. When you're drinking it orally, then you're losing your sense of smell from like a week or a month or whatever. I lost mine for about 6 weeks. Couldn't taste nothing.
Right.
I could have
It's
stuck my
interesting
tongue in a
as
dog's
well.
arse, and I couldn't have told you what it was. It was literally, you could not taste nothing.
The devil's a serpent anyway, so it's no surprise they wanted to go to snakes.
It's the oldest
Yeah.
serpent of evil, isn't it? Dave? The serpent.
Yeah.
You need to go and watch this documentary, and then you'll get a gist of it. And there's a few more that this doctor's done on there, and he's showing you all the patents, everything that they've been doing since 1989. That they've been working on this.
And for many years, I used to do work for the Wellcome Trust, and I used to go to Hinkston near Cambridge. Okay, and I met the guys who unwrapped the human genome. Okay, now so I have a basic understanding of what they may or may, because I talk to these guys, and they sort of and I used to say in simple tones. Now, I fail to see, if this venom is in, and I believe I like to believe that this is absolutely true. If this venom is, it only attacks people who are sick. Okay, it does. It only attacks people sick. Is that what you're saying?
It will. Yeah, and basically that's why the children ain't getting it, because they've got higher melatonin in them. Yeah, so they're not getting it. Also, smokers. Yeah, the in your back of your neck, your gland in the back of your neck, that your nicotine receptors, right? That also affects your breathing which the cobra venom goes to. Well, nicotine apparently slows that down and halts the actual with the breathing. So that's why there was less smokers coming down with COVID than non-smokers.
Can we say this? So you've got a choice. You can either die of this or die of lung cancer.
Yeah.
But I used to smoke 40 a day. I gave up for a bet, £1,000 bet in 2005, I think it was. So I gave up 17 years ago. But having said that too, the reality is that nobody really knows, because nobody's telling the truth. We get lots of people that are giving us a good science, but it's untested science, because no one will tell the truth, because it's only the truth as far as they're concerned. Now, so what we need is a consensus of people from both sides.
Well, this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing now. They're trying to get bottles of remdesivir, and they're trying to get the vaccine, bottles of the vaccine, and now they know what to test for. They're going to test for it, and if it's in there, then they're going to pull Fauci and that in.
Well, the man's a criminal. He's no better than Dr. Mengele. We know that.
Oh, he's worse. He's worse. Look at him. Look what he's done. He's affected the whole planet.
Well, not just him. All the
all of them. Bill Gates, all of them. All of them.
One at a time. Let's not keep talking over one another.
All the people that have gone along with him have affected the planet. All the people that have said, like Patrick Vallance and all these so-called scientists, they've all given us their point of view. But that's not the reality. That wasn't the truth. The truth is that I'm 71 years old. 3 years ago, I had a really bad cold. Okay, for 3 years, I drew the jab. I actually had a jab like 18 months ago because I was going to America. Okay, so I actually had 2 jabs and I didn't go. And that's the worst thing I ever did. But I never got sick from it. I had nothing wrong. There was nothing wrong because I had natural immunity, and that was herd immunity. And that's because even now, I walk around with nothing. I've never had a mask because I'm immune anyway. But I've never had a mask on. I've never taken the advice. I look at people with masks on. I go, fuck you. You're a moron for thinking a mask will protect you, because it doesn't. It's like saying the only thing that a mask will protect you from is being recognised when you do a bank robbery. That's it.
Well, you can build up immunity of venom as well.
Well, we know that. You can a little bit at a time, bit by bit. I saw people in Thailand doing the same thing.
Yeah.
That's
Can you imagine people tuning into this show for the very first time? They must be sat there going, fucking hell, what are these people talking about? It must be like landing on Mars, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? On Mork and Mindy, they must be going like Nanu, fucking Nanu. But that's
Well, the fucking last 2 years have been like that, Dave, hasn't it?
Yeah, mate, it has. Mate, listen, Alan Walker's just put a comment up. Now, I know Alan, and you might like to keep on the right side of Alan because he's an undertaker, and if you come up in front of him and you've got a hard on, he'd probably shove it up your ass for you. But there you go. But he's quite true in what he says here. He says no one knows the truth, and that is the truth. And I have to make him right. We just, look, we're sharing opinions. None of us know for 100% fact all what this stuff's all about, Venom, Walter, this, that, whatever. We know there is a very sure sign, and you've only got to go and research the Georgia Guidestones, that they want a depopulation in any case, and they hope to achieve that by 2030, I think, or 2050, have the population at 500 million. But who knows whether they get to where they want to go? No one knows. I don't actually think they do, because I think there's too many people awake now. I think it's actually going against them. So we will see, you know, we'll just have to see the outcome. But I mean, a lot of the stuff we talk about does make sense, and it is credible. But you've got to understand that there's so many people that are at home just wouldn't have a Scooby-Doo. They just wouldn't comprehend what we're saying. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, I've started looking into all this and started like looking at all the evidence and Googling and like searching on Bing and other ones. And I'm starting to find things, and it's all tallying up what the geezer's saying.
Right, okay.
So,
Well,
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Everything, all the research that he's put down, I've stopped the video, I've Googled it, I've started looking in, you know what I mean, and started reading it myself.
Yeah.
And he's not lying, the bloke. What he seems to, everything that he's saying now, he's got the evidence that's backing it up.
Yeah, but hang on a second. You see, that's what they all say. They all said, follow the science. We've got the evidence. We can prove that. Everybody says the same thing. So why is it? Why don't we just allow the people to do what our mums used to do as kids? When we had the measles, when we had chicken pox, when we had scarlet fever, all that hysteria stuff, they let you. They look
Yeah,
after
you used to have the parties and let everyone get sick, and then it would just go through the lot.
Why is it that the people in this country allow themselves to be navigated away from what we all know to be true? That when you got a cold, you wrap up warm, you take lots of fluids, and you take a bundle of fucking tissues and blow your nose.
Yeah, but it's not just a cold though. It's a man-made biological weapon. Yeah, and it's made from a venom. It's these proteins that's been put into it. So it's going to affect the certain people.
Yeah,
Plus, also it affects certain races. The Native Americans have been killed off in America. It's going through them like a dose of salts, apparently.
Yeah, well, that's always been so with the Native Americans. But having said that, that's so. You can't really prove all that because you can't. I mean, that's from one man's point of view. I'm trying to be objective. I don't want to be a devil's advocate. I want to be objective. I want to try to get some consensus about what may be true, what may not be true. What we have to do, where we have to go with this, is take a view on it. Okay, take a view on it and say what is it that's good for us as people. What's good for us is doing what we think's right, not what some fucking scumbag sitting in front of a television camera saying, we got to lock you all down. Doris saying, I can't rule out another lockdown. I'll tell you what we can rule out, Doris. You try and put another fucking lockdown on you, and we're going to come up and going to chuck fucking firebombs at number 10 and burn the place down. And we got a right to do that because we paid for it and it's ours. Not his, it's ours. We want to burn the place down.
Fucking hell. Ask Dave, I've been waiting for that for the last 2 years.
And that's what, and the people of this country, the true Brits, the true Brits should listen to that and take a view on it, not to be fucking pushed around and bullied like we have been the last 3 years. And it continues to be so. In the name of goodness. And we're doing you a favour. We're doing you a favour, giving you 5 pence off a litre of petrol. And what did we get out of that 5 pence? Fuck all. Who kept it? The fucking retailers. What I mean, I saw it for 170 a day in Edcorn, Dave. 170 a gallon. And the price of fuel is dropped from 110 as it was. It's about 103.9 now. Okay?
Don't pay no more than £1 a litre. Just go in and say, I've got 10 litres, here's 10 quid. I want to give a shout out, actually. This is quite important if anyone knows the whereabouts of this certain individual. There's been a woman that's been speaking out a lot about corruption. Her name's Cheyenne Gislin, and she's a very pretty girl. And she's been missing for the last 3 or 4 days. So if there's anybody out there around the world that knows where this woman is, we don't have any idea where she is. If you can come forward and give us some information about Cheyenne Gislin, we'd be very, very appreciated. Moving on, there's been a video circulating around this week of the Chinese people that have all been locked down in their buildings, and they're literally leaping out the windows. They're leaping out and they're falling to their deaths because they're so desperate. They can't get out. They're leaping every single day out of these buildings. It is a very, very, very tragic scene.
You know, what's really interesting, Dave, is that when people say things, you know, you're under a communist regime. Well, I mean, we're not quite under a communist regime at the moment. under communist regime, under Stalin, 50 million people died under Stalin. How many people died under Ho Chi Minh? Tens of millions of his own people died under Ho Chi Minh. Okay, when he got not Ho Chi Minh. What's his name? Mao Zedong. I apologise, Mao Zedong. Okay, after he overthrew Chiang Kai-shek, and that's where we get. That's when Formosa is now Taiwan. So Formosa was where Chiang Kai-shek went, and that became an independent republic, independent from China. Okay, and that was where they all fled to. Okay, and it's now Taiwan. It was called Formosa for those who didn't know that, but now you do. So basically, all these people like Pol Pot, communist, Ho Chi Minh, communist, Chairman Mao, communist, Stalin, Trotsky, all these communists for the people. Lenin killed millions.
Castro.
And why is it everybody wants to be a fucking communist?
But this country is communist.
Of course
You've got community centres. You've got. I'm going down the social club. We're communist. We're communist.
Dave, when I lived in Islington for 35 years, the People's Republic, they flew the red flag over with Margaret Hodge. They took the Queen's picture down. A girl driving a tractor over the. I mean,
very sad to say. It's very sad to say. I think we are communist. Some good news though. 4 days ago, last weekend, 3 horses died at Aintree at the Grand National, and there's a boycott now. There's many groups of people that do these events down to Aintree have now come out publicly and they're saying we can't support this no more. We're supposed to be a nation of animal lovers, and we can't turn a blind eye to this. So hopefully there's some reforms coming that way. Don't get me wrong, I've got 3 horses myself. They're beautiful animals.
Saw them today, Dave. Saw them today.
You saw them today, and they're gorgeous, and they've got lovely souls. Most of them. You do get the occasional nutcase, like you do in individuals, in people.
Not when you've got polos. Not when you've got polos.
You've got a friend. But the point is this: yes, they enjoy cross country. Yes, they enjoy a bit of dressage. Yes, they enjoy rolling around doing this and that. But if it's fair, if the jumps are a certain height and they don't go quite so hard, I don't know the answer, but I'm just glad that people now are saying enough is enough. This is not to see the pictures of the carnage as they've gone over this, mate, and it breaks you. It breaks me heart. I don't get the greed of just to put a few quid in your pocket on a winner. It's mate. I hope the people that win on all these horses, when these horses are dying, I hope they actually choke on their money, to be fair.
Well, I don't know. I mean, horse racing is horse racing. I mean, it's like saying, shall we stop motor racing because people get killed motor racing? You know, well, I mean, what do we do? I mean, where do you draw the line? I mean, where do you draw
but that's their choice, isn't it?
That's their choice.
That's their choice. It ain't the horse's choice, though, is it?
Yeah.
What I want to know is, where's Alan Merritt?
He's in the chat room, in the wake up chat room. He's having a night off. I think he's ironing his pants again.
Not his Y fronts.
Yeah, them ones.
The problem with Alan is he doesn't know what Y fronts is because he's illiterate.
Yeah.
Are you listening, Alan? Anyway, I know what's interesting. A guy, I was reading it tonight before we came on. A guy's found out how Jesus Christ died.
Right.
And it wasn't about. It's the way. It was the way he had a dislocated shoulder, and the way he was pierced, and all the fluids got into. And it's a really so in the Daily Telegraph. There's this really, and it's too complicated, but it's worth a read. And I read it, and I'm 71 and senile. I mean, you get to a point where you think, oh my God. Is this true? And this guy's done a lot of research, done all the research, gone back for all the years, saying, going back from the eyewitnesses, the Roman centurion stabbing him, all that stuff, and he's done this most amazing thing, and he's got together, and it's on in the Daily. So if you go online on the Daily Telegraph, it's there, and you can read it, and it tells you how he thinks that Jesus Christ actually died on the cross.
But it's just his thoughts. He doesn't know that for true. So
he's a professor of medicine. So and he's listened and put together all the things that were said at the time.
But the Bible warns us very clearly.
He does all the fact that Jesus had the body of a man, but he was.
The Bible, Mike. The Bible warns us very clearly about watching out the people that follow the science and follow the people who might. The Bible is very clear on that.
That's true, Dave. But remember, the Bible was written by man.
Prophets, visionaries.
Yeah, I mean, where's the Book of Judas? Where's the Book of Mary? That's what, and they were got rid of by the Council of
Nicaea.
Yeah, it was that the 11th century, wasn't it? When
it comes back to the old adage of know thyself.
Well, exactly. So I mean. Religion.
Following the science, but it keeps leading you to the money.
There you go.
I've got to say, Shaka, you really got to sort your eyes out. I'm worried about you. You've only got one. You remind me of a submarine. It doesn't. He looks like a submarine, like a periscope, doesn't
it? It's a good eye. It's a good eye. It's a fabulous eye.
Well,
it's a good eye. It really.
I'm very disappointed that Alan. He said he'd be on tonight, and he's not here.
Well. Maybe he's just having a nice.
I think he's having a shiny hair. I think he's having his head shined.
We need to get. I don't know. As I was growing up, I always wanted to get on. My mum always said, if I focused on things, I used to make them materialize. And she said, I was that way, and I always thought that money and stuff was a good thing. It gave us our daily bread and it kept us safe. But man, honestly, sat here in 2023, I think the current monetary system is the most wickedest thing that mankind's ever seen.
Yeah, but Dave, isn't it true? The old adage, money is the root of all evil. It holds true then, it holds true now today, probably more so today.
Well,
it won't be around for much longer.
Pardon?
It won't be around for much longer.
What?
Money.
Oh, yeah, trying to get rid of it. They want us to go cashless, don't they? Cashless society.
That's going to be fun.
Do you know, I went to a bank today, paid a check in. How's this? I got a check today. The first, I've got two checks. One for 650 quid for the power outage, and I've got another one for nearly £1,000 for all my expenses while I was through the power. So they give me a best part of 1,700 quid. To cover all my expenses for the power outage for those 6 days that we had here.
But you spent $2.5 grand in an hotel.
Well, but when you're drinking like bottle of Bollinger or something, I mean, it does get a little bit. But they did pay. They did pay. Anyway, so I went to the bank today. I went into Maidstone. Well, when I came back, I saw you, and I walked in the bank, and I'd forgotten what it's like to pay a check-in. I hadn't paid a check-in for so long. I had to sit there and think to myself, how do I do this? And I had to sit there and say, oh, yeah. So I was sitting there. So I went up to the girl. She was sitting there doing Sudoku or something. I said, is this what you do? She said, I've got so little to do now. Because the banks are taking it all away from. I mean, the banks are criminals. They are taking away the right of people to look after their own money the way they want it.
So look at last week. Look at last week, right? They burnt the internet hub out down in the village. The little Sainsbury's that's up round the corner, their internet went down. There was carnage in there. People said, "Well, hang on a minute. I've come in to get me shopping. Our system's down. We've got no Wi-Fi."
And you can't go to an ATM because no power.
So here's the point. If they I just go home and get some cash. So they go home and get some cash. They go back, they get their eggs, their bacon, their whatever. What happens when they can't do that?
But Dave, you know what? I mean,
But the point is, what happens when they can't do it? What happens when they can't get their eggs and their bacon and their? It's a joke.
How are we going to buy the weed? That's what I want to know.
Well, that could be one of the reasons why they're doing all this. You see.
Well, you say that. I'll tell you what's really interesting. I'll tell you what's really interesting about that is that I was out a couple of years ago before the lockdown. I was out in London, and I said, I walked as a guy goes, can you spare a few quid from me, mate? I went, I never carry cash, and he had a card machine.
Hello, here comes.
There he is. There he is. Oh, come on.
Hello. We're limited.
Yeah,
what's happening here then?
He's not just limited. He's not just limited. Hello, darling. How are you?
Guess what? This plank's gone and done.
What?
I bought a new motor.
What you got?
I've got a Fiesta and a 19 plate. Right.
Fiesta.
I got it for 11.
How much?
11.
You pay 11 grand for it?
Yeah.
You could have got a new one for that. Anyway, you bought a Fiesta.
Just over 3 for mine. And guess what happened?
Go on.
Fucking clutch went tonight in Louth.
The clutch went on the car you were part exchanging or the one you bought?
The one I bought.
The clutch went. I mean, well, they'll put it right. They've got to put it right. And did you buy it Did you buy it privately?
I bought it from Evans Hanshaw.
Oh, then I guess they've got to put it right, mate.
Yeah, no. What I did is a bit of business. I've got in that price. I've got a 12-month warranty on everything.
I've got to say, and you've got to turn the lights down because I'm getting the dazzle off your head.
Nice.
I can feel the heat from here.
Next to that, do you ever notice on the thing? There's a dome. You've got two guys here who are Nancy Rye. You know, so in the middle is like is that St Paul's Cathedral?
That's St Paul's big cathedral. Yeah.
I must say
that could be a next contributor.
Hey Reynolds, I must say you're on fucking fire tonight, you bitch.
I have got you. I've sent you something today. I've sent you something.
Have you?
Yeah, a little something, a little memento on me because I love you.
Oh,
you're my mate. I gave one to Dave. I gave Dave one today.
I'm not keeping your lips still. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not spoiling the surprise. I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah, but I think
I've been waiting 6 months for my new car, and there's still no news of it.
There's no chips.
Tell the people, Mo, hang on. This is important. Tell them about your court case. What the judge did when you went in and done all that business. You've got to listen to this. This is cool.
Oh, it's interesting. Go on in.
Right, I went in there basically, and first of all, he's gone to me like I've gone in there, and he's going to me. I went, hold on a minute. I said, I want to bring God into this room for a minute. I said, do you mind if we have a little prayer for a minute? So I got my Bible out, stood there, went all quiet and that. I said, right, thank you, Your Honour. He went, right, can you swear on the Bible? I was like, I don't swear no oaths, mate. I said, it clearly states in the Bible there. I said, you can go to Matthew and have a look if you want. I said, do you want me to open it? He's like, no. So he started going like, well, can you say like the other one? What is on there? And I was like, no, well, it says, I solemnly swear. I said, look, mate. I said, me yes is me yes, and me no is me no. And he just looked at me like, right, let's carry on then. So he started, I went, hold on a minute. I said, let me read. I said, I want to read you something out of this Bible, Your Honour. So I started reading Timothy 1-9. and started reading all that out. Anyway, so I've gone through it all, and I said, right, I said, where have I committed any crime? And he's like looking at me like he just don't know what to do. In the end, he's gone out the room. This is squashed. No more. I've cancelled this case down, and that was it. Everyone in the courtrooms all come out behind me. All the other people, they're all going, "Can you come back in and speak for me?" Madness.
Power of the word. The power of the word.
What was you accused of?
No, it was only it was speaking.
But it just shows you that it just proves, man, doesn't it? I mean, look, you take this book into that courtroom and you know this, and ain't nothing happening to you. But if
I said to him, I'm a righteous man, and what gives you the right to judge me? I said, the only person that can judge me is God.
Amen.
I said, you've got no power or authority over me or my soul. I said, do what you want with me. I said, do what you want with me. I said, like, you can torture me, lock me up, do what you want, but you've got no power over my soul.
That's powerful, man.
That was it, mate. He knew he couldn't deal with me. He just threw it out of court.
And that power.
Do you know what I'm like tonight, Mike?
What's that?
Do you know what? Do you know why I'm late tonight, Dave? Sorry.
Hang on, we're getting real bad feedback again through Mike's mic. I don't know why.
He's got his
He
mic
ain't
on.
touched nothing. He ain't even touched nothing. But it's definitely go on, Alan. You talk. I don't think it's you.
Hello.
Yeah, no, it's not you, Mo.
Mine. Hello?
Yeah, it's not you. Right, spear thrower. Let's have a little. I think it's Mike. Somehow Mike's giving a bit of feedback through his system. I don't know why.
My system?
Yeah, it is definitely yours. I don't know why. Have you got speakers on or something?
No, just it's
No, I don't know.
What's wrong?
No, it's when Mo or Alan was speaking. You could hear them double time. It was, and it.
Even though I'm not saying anything.
No, even though you're not talking, we're still getting it coming back through your system for some reason. I don't know why.
I blame Alan.
It's Alan's fault.
You know why I'm late? You know why I'm late? Really?
Because your claps went.
I had to swim like fuck across Covenant water because this fucking anaconda was chasing me.
I tell you, many years ago, I was in Thailand, and it was about 3 a.m, and I was going, and I knew lots of Brits there, and we were going to a party at this girl's house, and we had about 3 or 4 tuk-tuks, and we're going up this road, and it was, it's only about, I think the road was about 12 foot wide, if that. And all of a sudden, the tuk-tuk stopped. We all stopped. We went, oh shit, we're going to get robbed. Like this, you see. So we stood there, and I said to the guy, my mate spoke to me. He said, why, wrong. He said, no, cannot. Say, nung. I said, what's that? He said, snake. And there's a snake. I'm not joking. All I could see was a snake body. And it was huge. It was about, it must be 10 or 12 inches.
Yeah.
And it's right across. And you couldn't see the head, and you couldn't see the tail. So I said to the guy, we'll drive over it. And he went, no. They don't do things like that. They just don't. They just don't. Respect stuff like that. They'll eat it. If it was dead, they'd eat it. But I mean, while it was alive, they won't do anything to it. Anyway, so I said to him, "What are we going to do?" Because this thing was huge, and all of a sudden, like it went, and all of a sudden, it's just, and we went up to it, and it slithered away. But this thing must have been over 20 feet long.
Python.
Yeah, a reticulated python, I think it was. I've never seen a snake bigger than that. He said on film. It was huge. It was enormous. Anyway, they're proper snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What Mo says, though, I mean, it must admit there is something. I was taking a piss of it a little while ago, but there is something what Mo says, because don't they say something about cobra venom or something like that? And I think Charles was saying something about that earlier on. In the chat about cobra venom.
Talking about it earlier.
Did you? Sorry about that. Sorry.
I can say I want to know why he's got my bird next to him. Like he's cuddling one of my ex-girlfriends there. What?
The size of him.
I come to think that that's better looking than one that cut with my ex-girlfriends. When I woke up,
She's like a supermodel, this one.
yeah, beautiful. Is that a she?
Yeah, it is. Good
Is it a
Yeah, she.
She
Yeah.
look girly. Is she
Yeah.
daddy's girl?
Yeah.
Wow, bless.
What breed is it?
She's cross Mastiff and Staff.
Wow.
Dog de Bordeaux and cross Staff. So, yeah.
And have
Good
you
as
had her a long
gold,
time?
she's.
You had her a long
What's
time?
that?
Have you had her
3
a long
years.
time?
3 years.
She's just a baby then? Really?
Yeah, 3 years old, yeah.
Is she your dog though? Your girl?
Yeah, yeah. Soft as anything, she is.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It's only the owners that make them aggressive.
Yeah, no, she's dog friendly. I don't bother with cats, nothing. She's all right.
You want to see his dog when he gives it a command, man, alive. That dog's well trained.
Really?
Yeah, I tried that on Maxine. It didn't work.
I wasn't telling that when I see her. She'll be around there. She'll be bashing him around the heroes. I'll tell you. Thing is, though, right, I see Mike and Maxine out in Sainsbury's car park the other day, and as much as he is the same as us old boys, he gives it the big one, but when she's around, he's like as quiet as a mouse.
Well, aren't we all?
And we all, yeah? Fucking right.
Well, she's got big tits.
Sorry, ladies in the chat.
Only joking. I'm being sensitive. I apologise.
Yeah, there's going to be a few claims coming in here now. I'm telling you.
I get told off.
Yeah, what?
She's lovely. And Dave, what's she like? She's lovely, isn't she?
Oh, Maxine, beautiful.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. So yeah, we got 9 minutes left, guys. Listen, whatever goes on out there, we have to laugh at it. We have to rise above it. We have to keep the vibration of the people up here. You know, I don't care what happens. Keep your composure. Keep your spirit, because that's what they're going after. They're going after your soul and your spirit. They want you broken. Now, when that copper got murdered on Westminster Bridge quite a few years ago, and his boss sat in the car and watched it happen, the radio went out on the streets and was interviewing. I've just shut his mic a sec, Mike, because we're getting bad feedback there. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We're almost done now. But they interviewed a Londoner, this elderly gentleman, and the words that I heard really haunted me, because they said to this old boy, "What do you make of today's events?" And he said, "Well, it all goes on nowadays. It's a thing of the modern era." And the words that really, really, really upset me the most that this old boy used was, "We've come to accept it." It fucking haunted me. Londoners and people of this country have come to accept these things that go on. And I think that is wholly wrong.
Morally.
Hang on. Can't unmute your guest because they chose to mute themselves. I'm trying to unmute Mike, but he's muted himself.
No, Dave, that's not true. The thing is, in London, there's not many people left like us, true Londoners.
No. What I'm saying is, this old boy turned around and said that he, in his own words, in his own mind, he said, and he told this reporter, he said, "We've come to accept it. We now accept that this is a way of life." And I thought, fucking hell, that and half sad. That is really sad.
No,
It's true, though.
No,
it's true.
Yeah, but all four of us, we're all Londoners, surely. And our parents want to put up, and our grandparents who fought for what this country is, right, and what these people are trying to tear down and criticise us for being, "You racist bastards, you white supremacists," all that. We're not racist on white supremacists, nor were our people. None of our people were racist on white supremacists in us four. You're going to get racist in every relation. Black people are racists. Indians are racist. Yeah. Indians are the worst of the lot. They're snobs. They're terrible. They treat the caste appallingly. Okay.
It's just like you was born on the wrong side of London, weren't you?
Exactly. It's right. It's like being an Arsenal supporter or a Spurs supporter. You know, who are going to get top four. But I mean, so we've all our lives, London are not racists. They are proper people. We're not racist. What we are, we fight to defend our own.
Yeah, we do. Chrissy Dunn saying there's another topic: dogs banned by government. It's wrong. You should be allowed to own what you want, not what you're told. Now, if you go into social housing and that, oh no, you can't have pets. I mean, I reckon that the English, the Irish, the Scottish, and Welsh have got to be the most controlled fucking people in this world. And we accept it. Instead of telling these councils bollocks, I want a dog, I'm having a fucking dog. We kowtow to it. We bow down to it. We're pussies, man. We're pussies. We all do a lot of fucking talking, but we don't do a lot of action.
Yeah,
That's
because there's not enough of us left, Dave. There's not enough people
No.
left who are true Londoners. When I go to London, what do you hear? You hear Eastern European, you're Russian, Eastern European. You go to certain parts of you're Pakistani. Go to part of London, they're Indians. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with all these being a cosmopolitan society. What's wrong is that we, as the indigenous population, are castigated as being some sort of fucking like people who are killing the left, right, and centre, and are guilty of the most obscene, appalling crimes. When basically, from the late 18th century, this country, being the first country to abandon and get rid of slavery, fought against it. And we are still being castigated when this country paid for every slave in North America when we paid that debt off only so many years ago.
Yeah, but we're slaves now. We're slaves now. We've been bonded. We've been bonded. The Queen bonded us to the Pope.
Yeah.
For the weight of what we was as a baby in gold. And the only way you can get free of that bonding and buy your bonding back off the Pope is pay the Pope the weight of your body now in gold. That's the only way you can buy your bonding back off the Pope.
Thought it was silver. That's what you use sterling.
No, it's in gold. It's your weight in gold.
Yeah, they say that, don't they?
Well, that ain't gonna happen, is it? Let's kill the Pope. Let's get rid of the
But
Pope.
your bond that you've got that's running on the actual, because this is what it's all about. The bond that's on the stock exchange is worth that value. This is the whole reason of the genocide, because what they're doing is filtering that money off. That money's been kept on being filtered off, and it's been going to countries like the Philippines, and it's been put into massive vaults underground. And this is what they've been doing since 1930.
All comes back to the assisting veto.
Yeah, the Queen claims that we were all orphans. Yeah, when the birth certificate's done and the way it's worded, it's done so that she claims that we're orphans. So we're put into enslavement of the state
From birth.
Considered dead anyway. But we're not.
Yeah,
now.
well, you're dead. Yeah.
Me, Dave, Alan, we're living on Michael Simon Reynolds Limited. I'm now, my ship is now in dry dock. I am now a creditor, not a debtor to the society.
It is in actual fact, the limited company in the name is a genius move. And for big kudos to Hornsey Wood Academy for taking the time out and studying and the hours that he's put in to bringing this information to people, because we're now set up like MPs. It's really interesting because I said a few weeks ago I sent some stuff off to the probate office, and because I did it with the limited company and the heading of the limited company, probate then forwarded it on to Companies House. So Companies House sent it back to me saying, thank you for your recent letter. I can confirm that the company David Paul Witter Limited was incorporated on the 5th of Jan 2022 and it's active. Please note that the enclosed documents are not required for filing by Companies House and therefore I'm returning them to you for your records. But I didn't send them there. I sent them to the fucking probate office.
But also, Dave, you try finding any information on somebody once you've got limited status.
Really?
Yeah. They've tried to go after me. Right, they can't get my records.
What
they're trying to say is because Kathy is in a care home. Right?
Yeah.
Now, so what they're saying is their medical needs are so great that they can't afford her medical needs at home.
Right.
Got the bed and everything here, all the commode and everything's set up here at home. because our medical needs are greater, they're saying that the cost overall would be greater at home rather than in care, right? And they've tried looking into my phone. They've done it all unconsensually, and I pulled them up today because I said to them, I was photographing her records and having a look at her medical records and stuff like that. And I'll put in a thing for records, a copy of her records, because somebody's put a DNR on without my consent. And I said to them, I'm a power of attorney next to kin. I should be notified of everything that's going on. And I said, I want her medical records. And I said, I don't want anybody doing anything without asking me or speaking to me first. And secondly, right, they've been looking into my welfare, right? The care people that are putting the package together, because they're looking at everything I've got to see if I can pay towards her care. This will pisses me off that all of your fucking life you're paying national insurance and taxes for when you're fucking older, and they want to fucking make you pay again later on in life.
Hang on, Mike. I'll unmute you.
Yeah, it's DNR. It's do not resuscitate.
Yeah, that's what I said, DNR.
No, but Jesus has got it on the screen. There. What's DNR? Do not
DNR,
resuscitate.
do not resuscitate.
Basically, it's a license to kill people.
Yeah. Basically, what it is, I said, look, if she had a heart attack or something like that, and she probably didn't want resuscitating from that because she'd probably, I don't think she could come back from anything as substantial as that. As hard as it is for me to sit here and say that without bursting into fucking tears.
Oh, no, mate.
Right? And it's been fucking hard on me, man. It's been fucking hard.
Yeah, I know, bro. We know, mate. We know.
Mucho, babes. Mucho. I've got to say, my heart goes out to you, Alan, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, you're a diamond geezer, mate.
So what you're saying is now you're limited company, they're struggling to find any info on you.
Yeah, because of liability status.
Fucking brilliant. Limited liability.
Go there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You actually, the whole reason for you being a limited company is for your liability, and people aren't going to fucking chase after you, and that is the reason why a lot of people go to limited and become limited companies, because you're waiving your liability to extent by being a limited company. So the onus and stuff like that doesn't fall on anybody else but you. It's very, very difficult to chase somebody on a limited company basis. It's always better. It's greater to go after corporations and companies than it is limited.
Exactly. So there you go.
Right,
Alan,
ladies and gentlemen, we're
Alan.
going to wrap it up. We're
Hang
at
on, Dave, before you go, Alan, you've got to come down and have pie and mash, mate.
I was going to come down tomorrow because of Rolling Thunder's in town, aren't they?
There is.
Rolling Thunder, the bikers.
Well, hang on a second. It's Good Friday tomorrow. It's Easter.
Yeah,
isn't it?
they're in London tomorrow, aren't they?
Well, what are you doing? What are you going?
I was going to come, but I won't come down unless I get to see you guys.
Well, once you've opened your Easter eggs, right? Like you go to, how many you got? Come on, own up. How many Easter eggs you got?
Fuck all.
So I ain't got none. I don't do
How many you got, Dave?
I ain't got none. I don't do all that bollocks.
How many Easter eggs you got, Dave?
It's
How many Easter eggs you got?
false idols, isn't it? I don't worship false idols.
No, that's for the sad people. I've got about 40 because I'm fucking popular. That's right.
Nah, fucking naughty 40.
That's so unkind.
A bag of mini eggs doesn't count, Mike.
Oh, you're so. See, has Jenny bought you one?
I've got one chocolate egg and I've got one that actually says Easter egg on it.
Where'd you find
Well,
that?
It actually has the word Easter on the back of it. Easter egg on the back of the
What pie shop you going to? Peckham?
Peckham? I was born in I lived in Peckham. Dave comes from Peckham.
Yeah, right. Manzy's in Peckham, just by Peckham Rye, isn't it?
No, not Manzy's. No,
No.
Manzy's. Top of Peckham Street.
Peckham Hill Street. Peckham Hill Street. Peckham Hill
Or you
Street.
go Armits in Walworth Road. Or
I
you go Armits in Towbridge Road.
I grew up about a
Or
30-second 30-second walk from Manzy's Pie and Mash Shop in Peckham Hill Street.
All been there, mate.
In where? What? Peckham?
Yeah,
Yeah, I lived in Goldsmith
Yeah.
Road. Goldsmith
Yeah,
Road.
I used to work round the corner in like doing meat in the halal meat, delivering it all.
Oh, did you what road?
That well, you know, round the back of Peckham Rye, you got
Oh, right.
you know where the train station is, and then you've got you go up.
Shumert Road.
I'll tell you where it was. It's where that bleating bird got shot.
Oh,
That Peter bird.
The old hospital, Dave. You know, you do a right up. You go past the police station, going towards Blue Cross.
Opposite the police station, straight across the road, opposite the police station,
Yeah.
and then you've got a railway bridge,
That's right.
and you go through the railway bridge,
What
and
you
to
do
the
left.
right there was to the right there's like a old industrial sort of estate.
Yeah, and if you go left there, that's where the bird got shot in the head.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's right by where she got shot. Yeah,
You know that,
and
Dave.
the pie and mash shop's just across the other side by the police station, isn't it?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
the police station's
Bottom of
further down.
Rye Lane. Bottom of Rye Lane, walk across the road, right and left, Peckham Mill Street,
Yeah,
on the left. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Dave never bought me pie and mash in there, though. Alan bought the pie and mash last time he came down.
Alan bought the pie and mash
Yeah,
in
he did.
Calvary Road.
Yeah, and he didn't use his lunch vouchers. Did you?
No, I use my Green Shield stamps.
Hey!
No, they were pink ones that got mildew.
Fuck me, yeah. Them pink ones, I don't, yeah.
Ladies and
Happy days.
gentlemen, I want to
Happy
thank
days.
you all for popping in tonight and thank you for a beautiful show.
Man. Good to see
Yeah.
you, all of you.
We covered very many subjects, and it's good to know that the limited company done its business for you, Al. And until next week, we thank you all for your inspired tunes and your beautiful comments, and we'll see you all very soon. Thanks for taking part.
Bless your heart. all of you.
Yeah.
Good night, God
What's
bless
that
you.
documentary, Mike?
Which one?
That Watch the Water. Watch it. Stu Peters on BitChute.
You on next week?
Yeah. See that, Mo?
You on next
Yeah.
week? You on next week?
Yeah, I'll come on next
I'll
week.
talk to you about it next week then.
All right, lovely.
Take it easy, babe.
All right, God bless. Take care.